Happy 2026. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. I wanted to kick off with a wonderful stretch that you can do seated. So we're gonna go ahead and try to sit up tall. So that means not slouching back, leaning against the back of the chair. It also means not sitting too far over. You probably can't see me from the side. I'll show you, like my bottom is too far over the edge. So it's also not too far forward. I would say that the edge of the seat is just about like mid-thigh, just a little closer to the glutes than that. So try to sit up tall. So put your hands on your knees, and I want you to sit comfortably on your sit bones and really think about one long line coming from your tailbone through your spine, through the neck, through the top of the head. And so you're really pushing up towards the sky. I want you to try to tuck your tailbone just a little bit because we want it to be neutral instead of flared out. So I'm gonna stand up and show you. You do not need to stand. So what we don't want to have happen is we don't want this curve in the lower back because it'll put strain on the back here. So what we want to do is to try to tilt the pelvis in so that it is neutral. You see how my back is straight here? We're going to use our lower abs, right, just above the pubic bone, and we're just going to tuck the pelvis a little bit. It really is moving the pelvis from being tilted backwards to coming up just a little bit. So we don't want to crunch all the way in, but we want to make sure that the back, you see my lower back here, no longer has that curve out. Okay. So I want you to think about using your lower abs to tilt your pelvis in. And this has everything to do with the angle of your spine and not to do with your glutes specifically. So you want to think about the pelvis, right? Tilting in just a little bit, like your belly button coming in, so that you have a neutral spine. So we're gonna march very, very slowly. Right foot, right, and left. And you can put your hands to the side if that is comfortable for you. Good. So we're just gonna warm up the body a little bit before we stretch. I personally find that when I'm very cold, if I've been sitting for a while, if the temperature's actually cold, I don't stretch as well. So this is just a little bit of heat coming into the muscles. Good. Nice. All right. From here, extend your right foot, and you can just lean forward gently, and I'm gonna have my hands next to my hips here. So I'm leaning forward and I can feel it in my hamstring. That's the back of the leg. If it feels too intense, you can bend that knee until it feels like you're getting a good stretch, but it's not too intense. Also, of course, you can not lean quite as deeply. So that's kind of up to you how that feels. While we're here, point the toe up, and if you want to, you can grab your toe. You do not have to. And now I can feel the stretch all the way down to my calf. Good. Okay, other side. So it's my left foot. Okay. And then I'm going to lean forward until I feel the stretch in my hamstring, which is in the back of the leg, like the back of your thigh. And I'm going to have my toe relaxed. Good. And then I'll lift your toe, and you can grab it or not grab it. And now I can feel the stretch going all the way down my calf. Okay. Good. All right, so sitting up from here. Now the figure four I'm going to be doing here, it could be too intense, so this is up to you in terms of whether or not you want to do this. So I'm going to put one foot over, and it doesn't matter which foot. I'm going to put one foot over the other knee. And without leaning, without doing anything, I can already feel it. It's on the outside. I can feel it on this part. All right, other side. Okay. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit. So again, I'm putting my foot on top of my thigh. Make sure that your chair is stable before you lean over too far. So let me show you from the side. If you're sitting, as I was mentioning before, you don't want your bottom to be too close to the edge, because if you're gonna lean forward like that, your chair might tip. So be very careful how you're sitting on the chair. And go slowly so that the chair is still stable while you are leaning forward. Good. Very nice. Okay, so let's do just a really quick arm stretch. This you've probably seen a million times from other genres of fitness. So I'm just putting a little bit of pressure in between my forearm on my left hand and my elbow on my right. I'm just gonna bring it over to a tricep. So I'm pulling gently here against the elbow. Good. And we'll do the other side. Yes, that feels good. I think I lifted a lot of heavy boxes. Probably a lot of holiday decor, if you know what I mean. That feels good. All right, and tricep. Good. Very nice. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is a little bit of snake arms. So let's begin with bird wings because that tends to be a little bit more intuitive. So think about both elbows going up to the sky. So for a second you feel like, you know, kind of like a scarecrow or something. But you have your elbows coming up and then let the motion transfer to the wrists and the fingers. So just think about your elbows, just your elbows, and let the motion flow. And it does not matter what this looks like. It is totally okay, especially if you're new to this. We're just giving it a go. These are the bird wings. Okay, now we're gonna do one at a time. And I will note that I am in a slightly smaller space, so my arms are a little bit farther ahead than I would normally do. I would normally have them out here, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. Right arm, and left arm, and right arm, and left arm. Good. And if you have the room, if it feels good for you, you can have it come farther towards the side instead of ahead of you. Good. Think about your elbow, wrist, fingers, elbow, wrist, fingers. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. Now we're gonna add a chest lift. So how we want to think about that is think about like as if there were a string connected to the middle of your chest and you're going to go diagonally up. So I'm going to turn to the side. You do not need to turn to the side. Think about having a string here and it goes up and down. So put your hands on your thighs if this is new for you. Press those palms so that we're not doing this, right? Which is the tendency. I'm exaggerating, but we don't want to do that. We want to just lift from the diaphragm, which is the muscle that you use to breathe. Most people don't think about it actively, the diaphragm, but we belly dancers do. So press the hands to the thighs and think about a string going diagonally up and drop. And up and drop. I'll show you from the other diagonal. You do not need to turn. So up and drop. And you'll notice that my shoulders and my back are not doing the work. They're not doing this, right? This would be using my shoulders and my back, and you can see my hands are moving back and forward on my thighs. So really staple, glue those hands, and think about using the muscle on the inside, so not your back, and drop. And if it is small, that is okay. Most people do not know what the diaphragm is. Again, unless you've been doing secret diaphragm exercises outside of belly dancing. That's not a muscle that we really think about. I'm gonna face the front. So lift. I do get a question often about, is it linked to breathing? Since we use the diaphragm to breathe, like when you breathe, right, it opens up the chest, the diaphragm, the muscle that goes all the way across, drops down, your lungs fill with air. So actually it is not linked to breathing. If you are having a hard time at the beginning, you can try and do it very slow. I do not want you to hyperventilate. So you can try, do that like 2 times. Do not do it more than that. You will start to feel dizzy and we don't want that to happen. But you can see that I can talk while I am doing this exercise, which means that I'm not linking the chest movement to breathing and exhaling. Hands on thighs. Slowly lift and drop and lift. The motion comes from the inside. And if it's teeny tiny, that's okay because you're building this muscle. And in fact, I would say if you've never done this before and it looks very big, it means you're probably cheating. It probably means that you're using your back or your shoulders or something. So it's okay for it to be small. And we're using this muscle that goes all the way across our chest. Up and down. Good. Up and down. Very nice. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. Beautiful. Okay. So from here, let's just do some head and neck just to relax. I'm not going to circle all the way to the back. So drop your left ear to your left shoulder and then drop your chin to your chest very slowly. Half circle. You end up with your right ear to your right shoulder and then the head comes up. Good. Again, the other side. Right ear to right shoulder. Drop the chin to the chest. Come all the way around. Left ear to left shoulder and up. And again, you don't want to lift your shoulders. So we're not doing this, we're doing this. You want to bring your head down. And if it doesn't, if it doesn't move very far, that's okay. That's fine. So drop. And the reason I don't like going along the back is I feel like every time I do hairography that has a full circle, no matter what teacher teaches it, how aware I am, I'm always a little bit sore and I don't like that feeling. So sometimes it's worth it if you're doing a big show and it's like a finale move, but for our purposes, I don't think it's worth the risk. Good. Very nice. All right. So let's do a very, very simple combination with the things that we just learned. So we're just gonna march in place, then we're gonna do the stake arms, and then we're gonna do a chest lift, and then we're gonna do a head. Okay, so we're just gonna put that in a combo. I'll talk you through it, so don't worry too much about the timings and all the things. You can put your hands on your thighs, you can put them next to you, you can alternate, whatever feels good to you. I'm gonna put it next to me here. And again, check out how you're sitting. So make sure that the edge of the chair is just above the midpoint of your thigh. So you're not sitting too far off of the edge and you're also not sitting too far back towards the back of the chair. Okay, and you want to think about a long line from your tailbone all the way through your spine, your neck, and the top of your head. And use those lower abs, the muscle right above your pubic bone, and tuck just a little bit so that your spine is neutral. So there isn't that curve at the bottom of your lower back. Again, this is not directly related to your glutes. Okay, so we have our good posture here, and we're going to go ahead and march. 5, 6, 7, and march. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 8, 8, 7, good. Now we're going to do our snake arms, another 8 count, 8, 7, 6, 5. Now we're going to do our chest, and you can put your hands on your thighs if you would like. Another set, good. Now we're going to do our head, left ear to left shoulder, circle slowly. Good, and have your head come up, look straight ahead. Good, very nice. All right, check it out. We're gonna do that again. We're just gonna do it, we're gonna cut it in half. Sit up tall as much as you can. You can choose where you want your hands to be. You can keep them on your thighs. Of course, we're gonna do the stake arms, we're gonna lift them. Ready? March. 8. Snake arms. 8. And chest, up, down, up, and head, left ear to left shoulder, slowly circle along the front, right ear to right shoulder, and come upright. We're gonna drop the right ear to right shoulder, and circle just along the front, left ear to left shoulder, and up. Hooray! We did it! Woo! Hopefully that felt good. And I will catch you next time. Woo!